Welcome to Chris and Carlette Live, a podcast about life, love, and overcoming obstacles. Each week, we discuss the good, the bad, and the indifferent of life's interruptions. Now, here's your host, Chris and Carlette.
Keep believing, don't go stressing, keep it moving. God, we're resting, here to help you, here to bless you. With God.
All righty, y'all. All righty. Welcome to the November 4th edition, the 30th episode of the Chris and Carlette live show broadcast all the way from the great state of Georgia, near the city of Atlanta. I want to welcome all our viewers and subscribers and fans of the Chris and Carlette live show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Carlette.
Hi, Chris.
How are you?
I'm well.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was well. I had a great time.
You did great time in the Lord.
Yes, I had a great time with family
And friends.
celebrating life. My cousin, 60 years. Wonderful birthday.
Yes, yes. And speaking of birthdays, let's play a little clip of that. Bam. Yes, there he is. Darren, what's his, K. Blakely. Middle initial is K. Yes, there he is. Happy birthday, Darren. There he is. Yes, sir. All right, so we flew into Dallas on Saturday morning, and we were looking for a unique place to eat.
Oh,
And so we found this place called Hutchins. Boy, let me tell you, them barbecue pits right there, they was fire. They had the best food in
They
the
were all
Dallas
lined up.
area.
it was so good. I wanted Texas barbecue. We were just going to be there for literally 24 hours. And I knew we were there for an occasion. We didn't want to eat nothing big. We just wanted a snack, a taste. That was worth it.
It was amazing.
So
We're going to have to get them on the show.
so good.
Yes, Hutchins
They
barbecue.
have locations, many locations are in Texas.
Yes, yeah. I want to pop up this little picture though. Bam, that's Darren. For you all that know our cousin, that is Darren at a young age. I don't know how old he was, but that guy is Dapper Dan. So we see where he gets his outfits and stuff. His mother used to dress him. Auntie Dolores used to.
She's a fashionista.
Dress him clean, boy. Look at that. Then, so Carly, I cannot talk today. What is going
You're
on?
sleepy.
No, I'm. It's a lot of mixed emotions going on in my head right now. But I want to have you describe this picture for me.
We were on the bus. This was yesterday. On the bus, the shuttle headed to the airport after dropping off the rental car, and there was a smell that was sitting next to me on a person. Not the person sitting next to me. The smell was sitting there.
It was
on
hovering.
a person.
It was hovering.
And the thing about it, when you looked at the person, they did not look shabby or nothing. And I said to Chris, you smell that? And I thought it was coming from another direction, but I turned my head to the right, and there it was.
Caught you in the nose.
I put lotion on my hands, and when I spray my perfume, it gets on my hands. And I'm so glad I have that routine, because that's why I was able to just do this. Because I didn't even want to breathe. That's how bad it was. I didn't want that smell to get in my mouth. Y'all know
that
if you smell something, it gets too good. You can taste it.
You did what?
His clothes was clean cut and everything. It was like, bruh, what happened? And then I watched to make sure he was not on our flight. I was watching.
I was not going to sit next to him.
Yeah. Now, he was on the same airline, but he was not on our flight.
It was offensive.
Well, it was offensive. It was offensive.
That is funny. But anyway, to our viewers, thank you for sharing that. We did see the Harris Waltz plane.
Yeah.
In
Atlanta.
Yeah, but that's not the one that Vice President flies on. She flies on one of the Air Force One, Air Force Two. But this is probably one where for the campaign, as well as probably her vice president pick. He probably flies on that plane as well. But to our viewers, hey, lovely viewers of the Chris and Carlette live show, we wanted to take a moment to chat about something important. The reason why we ask for your likes, subscribes, and shares on a platform like YouTube and Facebook. First and foremost, your engagement means the world to us. When you hit that was your part. I just, when you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, or share our content, you're not just showing support, you're helping our community to grow. Your actions tell platforms like YouTube and Facebook that our content is valuable and worth promoting to a wider audience.
But let's get real for a moment. Okay, it's not just about numbers or metrics for us. Every like, subscribe, and share represents a connection. It's a way for us to know that what we're creating resonates with you, that it brings you joy, laughter, or maybe even a little bit of inspiration. And that's what keeps us going. So when we ask for your likes, subscribes, and shares, it's not just a request for validation. It's an invitation to be part of something bigger, to join us on this journey of creativity, laughter, and genuine connection. We appreciate each and every one of you who chooses to support us in this way, whether it's by simply hitting that like button or by sharing our content far and wide. You're the reason we do what we do, and we couldn't be more grateful. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for being a part of the Chris and Carlette Live family.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We have some returning guests.
Yes, this is the part 2 edition.
The part 2 edition. Now we have the dynamic duo.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, she held it on her own.
She held it on her own. Yes, she did. 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Just gave us full of knowledge
about
LLC's myth busting.
Myth busting.
LLC's what to do, what not to do. And so we're here with the part 2, and she brought her other half.
Her other half. Mm-hmm. Yes, her help. No, not help me, because that's reverse. But yeah, she brought her husband. Right. All right, we're going to welcome them on the show. Aziz Shantella and
Shantella Shabazz.
Let
me read this. They're a power couple in real estate and financial services. Aziz, I hope I'm saying it right, a top producing realtor and financial coach, leads a team of 100 plus agents and helps individuals and businesses build wealth and confidence. Shantella and Aziz both manage a fintech-based business with Nove Money, which offers fintech solutions in credit, funding, business growth, and much more. Together, they bring nearly 2 decades of expertise to empower clients in financial literacy, real estate success, and entrepreneurship. And I will tell you now, I've already referred 2 clients to her. Okay? So please welcome the Shabazz.
Shabazz, what's going on, guys and gals? How y'all doing? You said what?
Come up and see us sometime.
Come up, yes. We got to get up to the great state of Illinois.
Right.
Well, thank you both for having us on the show. And, this is the dynamic of the duo right here to my right. So
she's the queen.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm here to assist and see how I can chime in to be of assistance to serve your viewers. So, and great show. Congratulations on the show. This is the 30th episode, I think you said?
Yeah.
30th in this is
season number 4.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's consistency, discipline, just sticking to it. So, man, congrats on that. That's major.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, listen, let's jump right in. Let's start. Okay. Now, Shantella, okay, you ran it last time. So let's start with the mister this time.
Get
Okay.
him, please.
Yeah, let's start
I
off.
can't even hear you all the talking.
You know, I hear the strength in your voice, sir. I hear the strength. So you have a lot to say, a lot to share, a lot of wisdom and experience that the people need to hear. The people need to know about generational wealth, the direction. Like I said, when she was here on the show a few weeks ago, she talked about, you know, the do's and the don'ts, meaning the myth busting, the do's and the don'ts of LLCs. And we actually diverted into a little bit of real estate. But she's like, but I'll say that for my husband. We talked a little bit about real estate investment, but she said, I'll say that for my husband. So, sir, where would you like to start?
I guess maybe what do you think that your viewers maybe where would they want to start? You think they have viewers that's like more so first time home buyers, and viewers that just want to buy, want to buy a second property, or
I think
like,
we
what
have.
the viewers wanna do?
I think we have a little bit of all, but let's go into the direction of I have this money now. What? Because we, you know, it's not enough. We have to grow past just having money sitting in the bank. Somebody said it's an echo.
Yeah, I got it.
Just sitting in the bank and it's not growing for us. So we need to be wiser with our dollars. And we know one way into wealth is real estate. Yes, the first time home buyer. Yes, acquiring your home, whether it's the first, the second, or third, continuing that. But what if I got my house, but I got this money. What else can I do?
Well, I mean, my personal opinion, when it comes to, I have my home, I have some money. What do I do with this money? I mean, look at your whole entire situation. First, it's just continue to eliminate debt. You know, if you can debt consolidate, if your credit is good, you know, you bought the house, your credit is good, you can debt consolidate. Do some debt consolidation if you can. Take some debt consolidation loans on credit cards to reduce those credit cards. Refinance your car if you can. Refinance your student loans if you can to continue to build that nest egg. The high yield savings. I think you all may have talked about that maybe potentially last week as well. I'm a big fan of high yield savings. I'm not a stock guy. I know people make money in stocks, and I know people lose their shirt in stocks.
Yep.
On average, they say, you know, keeping a stock over a long period of time, 20 years, 30 years, might bring you about a 6% return, but you have that ability to lose that money.
Yes.
You know, it's like gambling. It's they call it the stock market, but it's in a way a big casino. Somebody has to lose in order for someone to win.
Right.
So if you can play it safe in a high yield savings and make 4 to 5% on your money, FDIC insured, why not go that route? And you'll have more potential of retaining and growing that money.
Now, I will say this. That's why I like IULs, me personally, because during the pandemic, I lost nothing. I maintained, and there were points during the pandemic I gained, but I never lost. And then the rate of return, especially the company that I went, is one of the highest in the market. And so,
Absolutely.
especially dealing with that, the 72 rule, how mines flip and double, you know, in less years than most. And so, we kind of hit on that too the last time, but okay.
And that's the direction that I was going in too.
Okay.
Is because but see, everybody can't necessarily afford the IUL because you have to fund the IUL properly. You have to front load the IUL because if the interest is not generating what you needed to, fees could eat that up.
Right.
So you got to be able to fund that IUL policy correctly. And if you can't afford to fund the IUL policy correctly and front load it on the front end, and I don't want to get too deep into that because that's not, I'm not a licensed insurance agent. We do offer insurance products, but I'm not a licensed insurance agent, so I don't want to get too deep into that.
Right.
But you have to front load it properly in order for it to generate you income or you can't technically in the insurance business say investment. It's not an investment vehicle, but it can get you a return, right? So that's something that's very important. And if you can't afford to front load that properly so that it makes sense, at least look into some term life insurance as well. And I know we're getting to the real estate part of where you can invest that money, but I still have to speak on these things because real estate all the time is not going to be your safest investment. This is coming from a real estate agent. It won't always be a safer investment. And, you know, one thing that Warren Buffett says is he likes to invest in things that he knows, things that he has confidence in, you know, low risk, high reward if you can, right? So I like to attack those things first.
Give me an example. Give me an example. Give me an example. Are we talking pork belly? We talking orange juice?
No. I mean, I'm still in that same area though. I'm still in that high yield savings.
Okay.
I'm still in that IUL policy.
Okay.
But I'm also in, if you can't get the IUL, get a term, because things happen and we need to still pass generational wealth. We insure everything else but ourselves. We insure our cell phones. We insure our cars. We insure our homes. Right? But we don't insure our lives. Right? And they don't want to tell us to insure our lives because that's a guaranteed payout. Right. And what that means is there's a transfer of wealth through passing away, right? Not just to cover the funeral, right? So that's how a lot of generations, a lot of communities and individuals, how they pass that wealth on is because they are insured, unless they have a large sum of money where having life insurance wouldn't make sense, right? Because they could use that money to put back into other investment vehicles. But if you don't have that large amount of money to transfer and you want to make sure that you leave something and leave a legacy, it should be done through life insurance. You could position someone better in life insurance and having policies versus in some situations having real estate to pass down, right? And if you do have real estate to pass down, and we talked about that a little bit too, you got to make sure you're passing that down the right way, else you could be passing down a burden, something that individuals, your descendants will be taxed on improperly, because then it'll be gifted to them versus being passed down through a trust. But I don't want to go too far. I know I'm going far, but I just want to say that cover the basics first. When you have that extra cash, get all the ducks in a row, even before going into, because investing in real estate can be the shiny object. It could be the thing to do, right? And if you don't have your other ducks in a row, and then you put your money out there in real estate, but you don't do it properly, it could be like playing the stock market. You could win or you could lose your shirt.
So when you talked about the debt consolidation, and I thought you was going to go this route, and maybe I'm probably the reason why you pivoted, but I thought you was going to go, or it is not too late, debt consolidation / you own your home, HELOC, where you're basically using your own money and not borrowing from the bank. You're borrowing from yourself, and you're paying yourself back with interest. You're paying yourself back. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, you can use your own equity out of your home, but my opinion, and it might not be somebody else's opinion, but I don't want to use my equity. Honestly, I don't want to use my equity, because my equity is what I want to pass down. See, do I want to pass down a house to my child, and it's worth $300K, but she'll still owe 200? So really, I'm passing down $100K, right? Or do I want to pass down something that's paid off right now, and now she's got a home that's paid off that's worth the full 300? Now, can HELOC be a solution? Yeah, you can use HELOC as leverage, but what's happening is you're going into buying that next property or that next investment, leveraging the equity that you've built, leveraging your own money, right? So the goal is really to use other people's money. But when you build up equity and then now you use that equity to go invest in something else, that might be a tool you can use. But if I can avoid it, I'm gonna take a different route. I'm not gonna play with my own money. I'm gonna go play with somebody else's money.
Right.
That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Is that including comparing interest rates?
Well, interest rates can be you can take interest rates into consideration when you're making your investment. But at the end of the day, really, when it comes down to an investment, it might not be the interest rate that is what stops you from making a move or cause you to move forward with a move. At the end of the day, we got to look at like, okay, how much is going out versus how much is coming in, right? Because at the end, you look at the risk of, okay, am I using my money or am I using somebody else's money? Mm-hmm. Am I leveraging my house or I'm leveraging somebody else's money versus leveraging my equity, right? So could you save some interest with the HELOC, or even if you do a refi cash out on your personal residence and now you got a better interest rate, but then that's your equity that you're playing with right there, versus if you got maybe a slightly higher interest rate, but you're not really playing with your money necessarily, but you're still getting a cash flow. Because that's what matters at the end of the day too. How much money am I cash flowing versus how much risk am I putting out there? See, I want to balance the two. If I could generate some income but lower my risk, I might take less income to lower my risk. But it's like a 401k. The tolerance in your 401k, when you're younger, they say go aggressive. You can be more aggressive with the investments that's inside your 401k, because your 401k is stocks, is bonds, is mutual funds, right? And it's all rolled up, but you might be a little bit more aggressive. But when you get older, they're like, hey, pull back, don't be so aggressive. Right. Because if you're aggressive, you could lose. And this is not the time you really want to play it too. You want to play it more safe, right? So you got to look at your tolerance too, of where you're at in life, on what type of investment you want to make or how aggressive you want to be. Now, me, I'm an old soul, I guess. You know, I don't really like to play around with money. I tried to gamble a few times in my younger years. I'm 42, but I tried to gamble a few times in my younger years, and it didn't turn out too good. And I didn't like that feeling. So I tend to be more conservative, because slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah. What about if you're, and I know we may be digressing, but what about if you're, as far as your 401k, if your company matches up to 6%? Is that so?
That's free money.
But is that something that you would do along with the IUL, or would you just cancel out the 401k and then just strictly focusing on the IUL and take all that money and go to IUL?
Yeah. Now I want to say this. I'm speaking on my opinion to everybody. I'm not a insurance agent. I'm not a 401k specialist. You asking me what I would do, so I'm just going to tell you what I would do. If my company is matching me 6%, I'm taking that money. I'm matching it and max it out, because you're not really going to see a difference in it in your paycheck at the end of the week anyway, right? So you might as well max it out and get the free money. Right? Would I do an IUL in combination of that? Absolutely. If I have the money to invest, if I have the money to sit aside, and I don't want to say invest because it's not an investment, it's income protection. When it comes to life insurance, it's the death benefit, it pays out, but also the IUL can bring a return, right? And you can create the infinite banking. I know where y'all going with this. You can create an infinite bank, your own bank. Because now you can borrow against the collateral. IULs is so cold. I ain't got no other word to say for it. But they just so cold. They so raw. Like they feel like they shouldn't even be real. It's still like, how is this possible? How the game is really laid out, that you can now borrow against the collateral of your own money, but it's like you didn't even borrow against it, because the money is still there gaining the same amount of interest as if you never borrowed it. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's amazing all at the same time.
But let me say this, and it is. And going back to when you said if you're not able to do it on the front end, let me tell you how I feel. I learned this in college about us. We have money for what we want.
Yes, that's true.
We have money. I saw people, beg for this, that, and the other. And you didn't know what was going on with them. But you wait about 3-4 months and they came out in their fraternity and sorority colors. That's what you was doing. And you got a new outfit and new shoes. You ready for the step show. You got all your paraphernalia. You got you got all this stuff. You didn't have money for some food, but you had money for this. And you bummed $10 off of me. People have money for what they want. So my point in saying this, you make the sacrifice. You can't just live for today. You have to live for tomorrow. And like going back to 3 weeks ago, you have to plan to be old. And we learned that from my late mother-in-law's best friend, one of her best friends, Jenny Alsa Brooks. She said, getting old, let me tell you what she actually said. She said, getting old ain't for punks. She said, you got to plan to be old. You can't just eat all your money up and that. And so in saying that, you have to make the sacrifice for such things. So when you get old, you can still live. Because it's not only a death benefit, but it's a life benefit. So it's like, yes, reduce the debt. Yes, reduce the debt. Okay, reduce it. So when you have to be in that, you're not paying off credit cards. You're not paying off using that to pay off this major debt. No, don't go into old being debt. You know what am I making sense? You know, it's setting yourself up and having a legacy, having an inheritance for your children. On top of that. Can I switch just a little bit though?
Absolutely.
I want to go to you all service of the credit solutions, credit counseling in the sense of, two of my people are that I'm clients for real estate because I'm a realtor also. They are utilizing your system. They're starting to clean up their credit so that they can help. They can get prepared to buy a home, and they're on the timeline and everything. So let's start there about the debt reduction. Stopping the bleed. Yeah. Because you sometimes, making the minimum payment ain't the way. Now I understand you have to do what you got to do. Sometimes if you can't afford to pay much just to keep yourself from being in the doghouse. But can you talk on that, Shantella?
Well, thank you again. So, yes, if you say you have a lot of debt and you're trying to figure out what should be my method of attack, most of the time you want to look at which credit cards are accumulating the most interest, which one has the highest interest rate that you're holding on to. So I would say start there. You want to start putting as much money towards that high interest card as possible, to get that paid down, because that's where most of your money is being spent. Because the key is also getting that utilization down as well. Now, if you're at a point, and I was actually talking to one of the clients about this the other day, if you're at a point where your credit score is not below a certain amount, why not also still add on more credit cards, right? Because, and I say this because you want to be able to increase your available credit. You want to be able to show that your utilization is lower, because they're not looking at just individual credit cards. They're looking at your overall utilization across the board when they're looking at your debt. So if you just have 2 credit cards and you've maxed them out, let's look at opening other lines of credit to help increase your credit limits, to show how much credit you have overall, right?
So instead of 2 cards that's maxed out, you got 5, but out of the 5, 2 is maxed and the other 3 are empty. That looks like a better scenario.
That does look like a better scenario, because
thanks for joining us.
Say each card is $5,000 each. Instead of just having $10,000, you've maxed out the $10,000. Now you have 3 more cards, so you have another $20,000 in available credit. that pushes your utilization down.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So overall, you have a more available funds. So that looks better when you're getting checked from lenders and you're getting checked from banks and things like that. So, but the key is also we have to work on our mindset. Just because you have these other cards,
right,
doesn't mean you need to go and run them up and max those out too.
Right.
If you get the other cards, cut them up, lock them away. Don't use them.
Right.
Don't use them.
But don't close them.
But don't close them. Yes.
Right.
Don't close credit cards because it'll hit you for 40, 50, 60 points on a closed
Really?
credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't close them
Mm-hmm.
and don't allow them to be closed. Because if you don't use them at all, right? So then they'll end up closing them for inactivity. And that will cost you just as many points as if you closed it yourself. It doesn't matter who closes it because you just lost a good trade line.
Yeah, I just actually talked about this past weekend where it's like, even if you're just setting up a reoccurring bill on one of these cards to make sure the account stays active, throw a Netflix subscription on there and make sure your auto pay is set up to clear it out each and every month, right? But don't try to go using and shopping it anywhere else. Just make sure that it doesn't close. I think you need to use it maybe once or twice a year to make sure the account stays open. Depends on the card. So each card might be different, but most of the time, if you use it at least twice a year, the account should remain open.
What do creditors look like? Say, for example, so I have a American Express card, and I want to bump up to the next tier of card because of the benefits and stuff. So what do you say about, like, how do you go to American Express or any card for that matter, but to ask them, you know, can I bump up to this next level card? You know, what kind of strategy is there a strategy to, you know, do they do a credit check or how do they go about doing that?
So most of the time, if you've already had the relationship with them, like you're already an American Express holder. If you have good history with them, you're utilizing the card, you're making sure you're paying it off each and every month, you're showing that you're responsible with the credit, you're keeping your utilization down. If you go to them and just let them know that you're looking to up your membership, right? And you want to increase, you know, the credit limit that you have on the card, or maybe apply for a secondary card, more than likely you'll get approved for it. Some other things that you can also kind of leverage yourself. American Express has bank accounts. The more tools you utilize with that same company, the more they're going to love on you, the more they're going to want to give you. So looking to open up an additional account with them, a savings account with them, asking for an additional credit product through them. You know, it's an overall big picture. They want you to utilize a lot of the different products and services, and they won't have a problem with, you know, increasing your credit limit. They may ask for income verification depending on how high of a limit that you want to go to. But for the most part, if you've already developed that relationship and you have a couple different of their products already under your belt, most of the time they don't even ask you.
Oh wow!
So you got to think about it like this, right? The credit card companies, they want to give you more money. Like they really want to give you more money. It's like, see, if you have a credit card that you're using, let's say it's a $10,000 max on it, and you're using the credit card $1,000, $2,000, but you're paying it off. So if you're paying it off before the interest hit, they don't make any money, right? They like that you're in good standing. They like that you're paying off the bill. They want to get you in a bad position. Honestly, they want to get you in a bad position where you can't. We're gonna give you some more money. So this time you can't pay it all off. Because if this time you can't pay it all off, now the interest starts to accrue. This is how they make money. So if you're in good standing, they really don't like that. They like for you to be right in the middle. Like you paying the bill, but at the same time, you can't afford to pay it off. That's where they're trying to get you to that level where now you're running that tab with them because they're going to make money off the interest.
Wow.
And there you have it.
I'm on American Express now.
They just laid out the game right there. We done. That's it. That, you know what you said, you put that together very good. Nicely said. Huh. Okay.
We talked about several things. Like, I want everybody to know on the call though, like, we talked a little bit about the IUL. We didn't really finish. We talked about the 401k. We didn't really finish. We talked about the real estate piece and invest. What would you know, how would you leverage that versus a HELOC versus what else you could do? We didn't really finish. Like, it's so much. And what I would encourage people to do is also to start digging in and studying and come to more videos and webinars and podcasts and stuff like this to really dig even more into it, because it's so much to learn. I did want to touch on the topic where we originally started, because I didn't forget where we started.
Go ahead,
I know
sir.
I kind of took it somewhere else.
No, go.
When it comes to buying a second property, right? Yes. Could you take a HELOC? Yes, and use that money. Could you refi if the rates are dropping, refi and cash out and then use that money? Yes, but what I would suggest people do is establish themselves as an LLC, buy their next property in their LLC name, start building business credit, right? And go after a property where you can start building a portfolio of property with real estate investment loans. That's where I would say to go in the next direction. And there's two ways you can do that. One, there's real estate loans, or two, there's business loans that you can take. Now, it's kind of which one do I go after? Do I go after the real estate loan, or do I just go after a business loan and then take that income, take that loan from the business and then go buy the property? Well, you got to look at both loans and see which one's going to be the best to fit your scenario. But when you do take real estate loans, they are PG loans. They are still personal guarantee loans. So you have to still back that just in case. You got to pay it in case the business can't pay it back. But if you can get a good solid business loan that's non-PG, non-personal guarantee, meaning that you don't back it, the bank is giving the money solely to the business. Now you completely separate yourself. So you got your LLC that's protecting you, limited liability company, right? And then also you got a business loan that's non-PG. See, that's another form of insurance. When you can have a non-PG loan versus a PG loan. So that way, if the business goes bankrupt, then you're not liable. They can't come after you. They can come after your home, your car. They can't come after those things. So that's another way of a form of insurance or protection that we don't really call it that or look at it that way. But non-PG business loans, in my opinion, are another form of protection and insurance, just like a limited liability company is. They just don't call it insurance. They don't call it protection, but it is a level of protection. So let me that's where I was going, having my mindset.
So let me ask you this: for a person that doesn't have anything, right, and they want to come to you all and say, "Hey, I need for you to structure our finances, our resources." Like, can you give us like just bullet point of things to do? Like, if we had a task list and that first task was establish a LLC and then do such and such, what would you recommend? Like, what would that task list be?
What would Joe Blow do?
off top, right? Straight out the gate. They say cash is king, but credit holds conversations. Get your credit right.
Oh, I like that.
Cash is king, but credit holds conversation. You can leverage that. You can leverage that. See, you can take 100,000 and then break that down and go get you 5 properties if you got to put down payments on those properties, right? Lower amount down payments. But if you got 100K in cash and you have no credit, you might be able to get you 1 property. You see what I'm saying? So you can leverage credit and like have some money and put that together. So definitely have your credit in position. Then also look at your debt, right? What is my debt? How can I reduce it? See, how can you reduce your debt? Because when you increase your credit, it gives you more options to be able to reduce your debt, right? So now your money, sometimes we look at like, I want to start a business to make more money. But sometimes we might just need to get our credit right so that we can save more money. See, it's easier to save more money than go out and try to create new money, right? So through leveraging your credit. Okay. And then now after you got your credit right, okay, you should have some type of investment. You should have some type of property. You should have something. You should have some form of asset, right? Like, so they say property is the quickest way to being wealthy. A certain amount of millionaires, billionaires, they made their money in real estate. I don't know the exact number, but a lot of people generate income in property. But I'm gonna tell you this, my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
I like your opinion.
When you do go buy your first property, don't buy a single family home.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say buy a single family home. I would say go buy a 2-unit, go buy a 3-unit, go buy a 4-unit, because all of those are still considered residential property. Until you get to 5 units plus, then that's considered commercial, which means you can still do a down payment assistance program on a 2-unit. Mm-hmm. So now you're living rent free potentially, because now you're renting 1 unit, you're living in another unit. You may even have a 3rd unit a basement unit that could be legally transformed into a legal 3rd unit, right? So, but you could buy up to 4 units, or yeah, and I'm gonna stop here because I see you ready to jump in. You could buy a mixed use property that's 51% residential and 49% commercial.
So and it still would be considered upstairs and the laundromat downstairs. I got you. I got you.
So okay, so
Shantella, look at your phone.
Number 3, get some form of investment. So does that mean that? What if you don't have any money to purchase that investment? Do you buy that investment off of credit? Or how do you structure, or how do you go to the bank and say, well, I don't have any collateral, because they're gonna probably ask you, okay, what collateral do you have? How much you got in the bank account? What if you don't have funds in the bank to meet that collateral?
So yeah, investment property. I want everybody to be clear when I say investment property, I'm talking about a 2-unit, a 3-unit, a 4-unit, something that you can live in as well, reduce your living expenses. Talk with the loan officer, get with the real estate agent so they can connect you with a good loan officer, because cash is king, but credit holds conversations. If you got a 640 plus, likely in your state, there's different for every state, but 640 seems to be the magic number that you can get some down payment assistance. So now if you have some down payment assistance and you get a great realtor that can work for you to negotiate you some seller credit, because when it comes to buying a home, you have down payment, you have closing costs. Together, those equal what they call funds to close. You need both. You need the down payment and you need the closing costs. But if you can get some down payment assistance and then negotiate for a seller credit to cover the closing costs, you can come to the closing table with little to no money.
Wow.
So part of that is probably wondering why he's saying get collateral, get an investment property, because when it comes down to getting funding for your LLC, you just started your LLC, you haven't been in business long, you aren't really making as much income yet, right? So if you're trying to go out the funding, you're brand new. They're going to look at you to personally guarantee. They're going to look at, even if you're not signing for a loan, they're looking at your credibility as the business managing member, as the business owner. So they're looking at your credit score. They're looking at what assets that you have in your back pocket to show that you are credible. So this is why you want to make sure your credit is right before you get if you want to get immediate funding after you start your LLC, you want to make sure your credit is right? Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that you have that asset to be able to lean into, so they see that, oh yeah, I manage property, I manage other assets, I have this credibility. And then all of a sudden your business is getting funded because you, as the managing member, have that credibility.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. So okay. So what's after the what's number 3? Get some form of investment. Then what do you do next?
Okay, so yeah, so now you got your property. You're living in it. It's a good experience as an investor, because that'll be your primary residence, but you'll be living in it. You'll see what it's like to own property. It'll be a lot easier for you to maintain. You probably do a little bit of managing, things like that. See, sometimes they say for you to own a McDonald's, you need to sweep the floors first. You know, you need to chop up the lettuce. You need to cook the fries, right? So this is a good way for you to get some hands-on experience by buying a multi-unit. It saves you some money, etc. Right? So now you got some experience, and now you can even see if you want to even dabble into going after another property that's an investment property that you won't necessarily be living in. Or maybe you decide to go after buying a second property. Now, let me give y'all a gem. Let me give y'all a gem right here. I'm going to give y'all a major gem alert right here. If y'all remember nothing else from this call, remember this.
Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me see something.
Ready to go buy a house.
Uh-huh.
When you go get ready to go buy a property, and if it's you and your spouse, you and your partner, if one of y'all can just get on the loan by yourself, just by yourself, both of y'all ladies, don't worry if the husband buying a property and you feel like you ain't got your name on it. No, don't worry about that. If y'all got that type of relationship, you good, because what's going to happen is he can use down payment assistance and you can come right back and use down payment assistance as well. Don't put your name on the title. Don't put your name on the loan. Don't put your name on nothing. And y'all can go buy 2 properties with down payment assistance. That's a good
Wait.
That was the wrong one. Hold on.
So you can't put your name on the title?
And you probably can, but
we did it.
Yeah, but the lender has to go through some loopholes and things of that nature, and it could come up. But if you just keep it completely separate, you're gonna be in the clear, right? And watch how you file your taxes too. Watch how you file your taxes too when it comes to filing the taxes on that property, because they're gonna look at that too. They really want to see you don't have no ties to it, and now you can go back and y'all can buy 2 properties, because with first time home buyer, the down payment is only 3.5%, but you can get down payment assistance. Now imagine you can go do that twice.
Wow.
Jim, all right.
That's it. That's the explosion right there. Let me try this. Yeah, that's the explosion right there. Bam, baby. All right, so that's one of the things that I did when we bought the house here in Atlanta. I just wanted to make sure that I wanted to put it in my name and not hers, because in case I did it for another reason, in case for a rainy day, say, for example, God forbid we lose the home or whatever, somebody stops working, it won't affect her credit. It'll affect mine, and then we can go use her credit to go out and buy another piece of property. But as you're saying that it's good that it's in my name, well, let me even backtrack. So once I did that, Mrs. over here said, well, you bought the property. Well, you need to put my name on the title too. My name need to be, and she had the head rolling in it. My name need to be, and she tried to flex.
I don't like ugly. I don't roll my neck.
Well, you tried to flex, but then
flex, yes, but rolling neck, no.
But then, so after that, this past year,
queens don't do this. Okay, go ahead.
So this past year, we established a trust. So we put the house in the trust and got it out of our names. So was that a good strategy?
Yeah, if you all have the house is paid off, it's in the trust.
Well, no, it ain't paid off yet. It's we still paying on it, but as far as the title is concerned, the title is in the trust name.
And the mortgage is just under your name.
Right.
Okay, well then that might fly. The lender will let you know. Yeah, so you might be able to you may be able to go back, and then you get another property, first time buyer. They're gonna probably look at how taxes was filed and things of that nature as well, in the previous years for that property. But the lender may be able to work that situation out. Mm-hmm. But definitely for people who have not purchased property yet, that's a major gem for them. Keep things separate. Go get the down payment assistance twice. You want to put everything together and titles and all of that later after that, then do it after that. Because when you go buy your second property and you're buying that property as an investment property, even through a traditional lender, it's going to be 20% down. Mm-hmm. So with no option for down payment assistance, so would you rather do 3.5% down with an option for down payment assistance, or 20% down straight, no option for down payment assistance?
So let me ask you this. All right. So we go out, we find the just say we find a house, right?
A multi-unit, 2-unit.
So we we already live in the house, but you go out and you find this house or multi-unit, and there's no renters. So you have to be prepared to pay the mortgage on that piece of property until you're able to either bring it up to par where you can get renters or whatever, just say it was abandoned or whatever. But like, how much money do you, well, I know that's kind of, how should you strategize to get renters in and to make that where it's income producing? Does that make sense?
Well, you're speaking to the realtor now.
Yeah, but should you already try to find if you're cash strapped, should you already try to find a multi-unit or a home that's already being rented in order so you won't take that hit every month on a mortgage? Or do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely follow what you're saying. You have to look at your own situation. You have to look at the situation of that investment as well. How much do I have to bring to the table, if anything, right? Do I have to do any type of rehab work? And matter of fact, while we're on that, keep in mind there's first-time home buyer loans that come with rehab costs. FHA 203K loans is what they're called. So you could go that route as well. But you gotta look at what is needed for that deal. How long can you survive without having rental income on that property? And then when you look at that, you say, okay, I can buy a property and it can be down for 2 months or 3 months and I'll be okay. Or I need to find a property that already has good paying tenants in it because that's going to be better for my situation, right? If the deal is really good, maybe you say, hey, this deal is really good. I don't care about the 2, 3 months, 4 months if I don't get rent or whatever the case may be. So that's really homework that you want to do up front, because can you buy real estate wrong? Yes, you can. All real estate deals are not good just because it's real estate. See, even if you're doing fix and flips, right, or doing buy and hold investment, but especially when you're doing fix and flips, if you buy that property wrong, you can do the whole rehab right. But because you bought wrong, you will still come out losing. So you got to do your homework up front and put together all the numbers with you sitting down, you researching, your realtor, your loan officer. If it's some work that got to be done, bring the contractor in, get estimates. Think about everything that has to go into it. What they say, measure twice and cut once.
Right.
So what is the monthly EXP for agents? What's the monthly assessment?
The monthly?
Yeah, what's the monthly commitment?
To be a part of EXP?
Uh-huh. That's a simple. It's a simple. How many?
$85
a month.
$85 a month. Yeah, but we got revenue share and everything, so it's a whole different form of investing right there. It's a business in a business, so that's a whole nother call.
Yeah, you build a team.
That's personal.
Your monthly is getting paid.
That's personal. I asked you a personal question live. I did.
Well,
I just
testament right there.
Okay, what that was called again? FHA, was it 302 loan or 203?
203K.
203K.
Yep, that's a first-time buyer rehab loan.
So you help, like, say if we came to you, you would help us to, strategize and come up with a strategy.
Well, that's the thing. I want them to list all their services.
Yeah, list all your services.
Let's start
it
out.
Sounds like it's multifaceted.
Yeah, because people need to call you all. He said, "You do this."
Said, run it down. Well, there is multiple services that we do offer, from starting with helping people look at their credit situation and try to resolve the issues that they're having with it, all the way down to we help with debt help for personal side, for business side. We also assist with refinancing. If you have auto loans or student loans that's getting out of hand and you want to look at to reducing that debt and getting your interest rates down, we also assist with that. Across the board, We also have personal loans that we help on the funding side. We have business loans, business fundings that we do. We help you also get your business registered. If you haven't started your LLC yet and you need some assistance with walking through that process, we'll actually guide you through the steps at no charge. You just pay your state filing fee. So we help with a lot of different things. We have some essential services tools that help support your LLC once you get going. So website builder tools. We help you also structure your business. We're helping you build business credit as well, all the way over to the estate planning side, where now you have your credit fixed. Now you have your business. Now you want to protect these assets. So we have services where you can do estate planning and set up a trust and a will. We have life insurance that you can look into. We were talking earlier about term policies, whole life policy, IULs. And another thing that I want to just drop in there, if you have a term life insurance policy, you might want to look at it and just make sure that that term life that you have is convertible into a whole life. Because if you just have a 10-year term, you paid all that money into it, and now once that 10 years is up, it's over. So
me personally, I view term as the low entry level.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, get that.
Yes.
But please note, term means there's an end point. And are you ready at that end to come out of that? You don't want, to Carlette, you don't, just like he said, my opinion. Well, my opinion, you don't stay there. Elevate, graduate, have a goal for the next level. Don't stay at term. I would even go as far as don't do no long term. Do it like you do a 10-year. Give yourself 10 years to elevate. And if you can do it before then so be it. Just look at it, but it's a start. It's a good start, but don't stay there.
Yeah, especially if you're working and a lot of employers offer term life insurance policies, right? You know, these are discounted policies that you can get through your job. At least do that. If you don't have anything else, pay the $2 every pay period to get the term policy, get started there. But, you know, we just have a variety of services. And the whole point of this whole thing was we want to make sure that we're serving the underserved community. So we brought on a platform through Nobay where we're able to provide these products and these services to people who might not know where to start.
Yeah.
Where should I go? I don't know if I trust this source over here, or I don't know what this means. So not only do we help you find the right service and the product, but we also educate you through the process, which is one of the key things that I think a lot of the different companies are lacking. They're not providing education of what people are getting themselves into. All right. So there's some more. If you want to touch on a couple.
Okay. Can we pivot? I want you to give advice to a specific profession, and that profession is those in your hairstylists, braiders, people who get cash every day. People who get cash every
kitchen
day.
Beautician.
The kitchen beautician, them too. You know, where they walking around with $500, whether it's $5 in cash, $5 in Cash App, Venmo, direct deposit every night. Cause they you know, some may do. I was listening to this one famous hairstylist, and she was buying a house, and she was like, okay, if my mortgage is this, and then okay, that means I need to do about 2 to 3 sew-ins a day, because I'm gonna walk away with so many thousand a day, because that's how good she is. She's one to the stars. And so what good advice, because they have this money, but I know they have to buy supplies. They have to set aside taxes. Hopefully they're praying they're paying this quarterly, and the taxes. But what advice would you, because they walking around with a lot of money, and it's not, again, savings account, that's not enough. It's not if it's not yielding.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would say definitely that money needs to be transferred into a high yield savings account. You know, there's savings accounts that are that we offer that's a savings, a checking, and it comes with the debit card. It's just like a regular bank. So they don't have to worry about tying their money up or anything like that. They'll still have access to it. So I would say definitely do that, because when they get ready to go buy property, because this is not just hairstylists, this is anyone that's 1099, independent contractor, sole proprietor, right? Self-employed. When the lender goes to look at your tax returns, they're going to want to see 2 years of tax returns. They're going to want to see your bank accounts in the last 3 to 6 months of bank statements. They're also going to want to see that the money is actually in a bank. When they look at those bank statements, you're not going to be able to use a Cash App statement. They're not going to accept that. They don't really care how much money you have there. So then you'll end up having to transfer that money to the bank that you're using, and then it's going to have to sit. And I want to say, don't quote me, I think it's about 3 months. It's either 3 or 6 months that money will have to sit for it to be seasoned, because the laws changed when 9/11 happened, right? And they changed the law because they wanted to make sure it was no money laundering happening and all of that. So you can't just take that money and put it into your account and say, okay, it's there now. It's got to sit and it's got to be seasoned, right? So that's what I would definitely say. And for a lot of those individuals, especially hairstylists or individuals that are running boutique online clothing stores.
That's good.
You have an EIN. Most have an EIN number, but don't have an LLC.
Do your LLC.
So when you have an EIN number as a sole proprietor, all you're doing is you just went and got that EIN number just so the vendor that you're using can now ship you merchandise, right? Because they require you to have an EIN, but you got an EIN under your sole proprietorship, which means you're just using your EIN number in substitute of using your social security number. That's not really establishing yourself like a business. When you go to get a business loan or to open up a business bank account, right? Or to have to build business credit, you're going to be required to have a legal entity. A LLC or S corp, right? Or a C corp, but I wouldn't even recommend that. But you will have to have an entity. So just because you have an EIN attached to you does not mean that you're properly structured as a business to really see. The other thing is, do it as soon as possible, because the age of your business gives you leverage. So if you're running as a sole proprietor with just the EIN number for years, that could have been years that you could have had on a LLC that's yours. So that's what I would say to those individuals.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, it's 10 o'clock, and we hope that this hour went by really fast.
Real fast.
We hope that our viewers got a lot out of it. We did get a lot of positive feedback. That this was some great information.
Man.
Wow.
And I just feel like we scratched the surface.
Yeah, we just scratched the surface, y'all.
Yeah. That was just a little it gets deeper.
Yeah. So if people wanted to reach out to you, how would they do that?
You can find us on www.tipswithteller.com or www.coachaziz.info. So you can connect with us on either one of our web pages, or you can definitely reach out to us on social media. Just Aziz Shabazz on Instagram. You can find us there, or Shantella Shabazz on Facebook.
Yeah, just Google us. Just Google our names. We'll pop up.
Google the name, y'all. Google the name.
They're
Googleable. Well, we want to thank you for joining our. I see you put it up there.
I just feel, man, I don't feel closure.
You feel cheated.
No, not cheated. I feel I'm on the edge of my seat. I don't feel closure.
Baby, we gotta let them go.
No, they have to go tonight. But say it again.
So that means you gotta get Aziz back on here.
Oh
again.
no, you gotta get her back on.
Now you all from Chicago? Y'all from Illinois? Where's?
Yes,
Yes,
we
sir.
are. Yes,
Okay.
we are.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
let's do this. Let's have a part 3. Let's discuss it.
Discuss
All right.
what?
Yeah.
What
We'll
the
get
part
into
3
it.
will be.
Okay. All right.
One thing, we don't have to go all over, because I mean, you gave us steak, chicken, potatoes.
Yeah, that was a buffet. Like
That was
but
a whole buffet.
y'all led the conversation.
I
So
did.
you
I
made us
did.
put a spread out there.
No.
I did. It's because I value time. I value time. I value your time, and it's not always a thing where somebody may want to come back. I mean, we on a part 2. Somebody might not want to do a part 3. You know what I mean? I value what we currently have and try to maximize the moment. Okay, that's why, it's like, well, and the more you gave, it was like, okay, well, what about this and what about that? And the people were saying, like, somebody wrote in there, can you please talk more about a HELOC? And you did, and I didn't even have to tell you.
Yes.
Somebody said, can you just run all that back? No, you got to watch the replay.
Watch the replay.
Watch the
replay.
Absolutely.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe to Chris and Carlette Live on Facebook and YouTube. You will get notifications that we are on live.
Yes, so it's a few people watching now. We want to make sure you like and subscribe right now. Do that right now. Click. Let's go. Click.
Right. I see some new names. New names.
Niecy Taylor.
Is it Niecy or Nikki?
Probably. Oh, Nikki looks like. Yeah, go ahead and like and subscribe. Tamisha Blakely, go ahead and like and subscribe. Go to YouTube. Yeah, everybody go to YouTube and like and subscribe. We're trying to boost up those numbers too. But yeah, we thank you. We will definitely call you after the show. I'm pretty sure my wife will call.
As soon as we get off, I'm going to call you.
So we can set something up, as well as we want to dive into our own personal.
Hey, Mr. Diggs, I see you. Watch the replay, sir, because we talked about, no, this is another Diggs, Christopher Diggs. I went to high school with him. The famous barber.
You gotta be on time.
Hey, that's the power of the replay. That's the power.
Yes.
I was about to say, Pastor Diggs. Mr. Diggs, we talked about the 1099 employee, the barber, the beautician, the kitchen beautician. We talked about it and what you can do with your money. And so thank you, Miss Taylor, for subscribing. So
before we go.
Yes, please.
Another nugget. You
just said 1099. I just want everybody to know, we also, one thing she didn't mention is we help individuals get the SETC tax refund for 1099 independent contractors, sole proprietors, DoorDash, Uber, whatever you do, that's 1099, hairstylists, all of that. Realtors, etc. Right? Wow. It's a tax refund that the IRS is giving. It's a free application. You don't have to put any money up front. If you get a refund and you pay the invoice out of the refund, you can get up to $32,000 back in a refund that you not have to pay back. Most people get on average around $4,600. Don't believe me? Google it. SETC. It's not the PPP loan. You had to pay the PPP loan back. This is a tax refund because the government realized, the IRS realized that there was a global pandemic all around the world like never before, and they still taxed us like nothing was going on. They doubled back, and they realized we taxed individuals incorrectly during that time period, 2020 to 2021. If you were 1099 and you filed taxes and you claim that you made some money during that time, you may be entitled to a tax refund.
Okay, you know what? We're going to have to let y'all go and call you right back. I got some questions. So y'all stay.
W-2 and a 1099, you can still qualify. So drop that in there.
Good point.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to have to.
But now you see what I mean.
We're going to have to call y'all right back after the show.
There must be a part 3.
Yes.
Both of y'all.
Yes.
Not one of y'all.
Baby, we got because I got some questions.
To him.
Well, all right, y'all. Well, it's been a pleasure. We're gonna call you right back after the show, but we'll let you go. But we appreciate your time, and y'all that's viewing, make sure you like and subscribe because we will have a part 3 of this, and we're gonna go from there.
And my prayer is that Somebody watch the replay and be like, I need to know the Shabazzes, and they take y'all even somewhere else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Amen.
All right.
All it takes is one person.
That's it.
All right. All right. We're gonna let you go. We'll call you right back. Okay.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.
All right.
Have a good night.
You too. Oh, let me put the background back. How come that didn't change with the thing?
I don't know, but I look cute with my black on black.
Oh, okay. All
I'm
right.
just
You
saying.
do. You do. That was some good information, y'all. This was good. I got some questions. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. Appreciate you. We come on every Monday at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. So we appreciate all our first time viewers. Put in the chat how you heard about us, Nikki. Were you a referral, or did you just stumble upon our name? And just tell us how you found us.
Are you a friend of Chantella's and saw her make an announcement?
Yeah. So, but look, guys, we want to thank you. We do have, we reached out to another guest. Her name is Tracy Williamson. She is the culinary cutie, is what she calls herself.
My BFF.
And her BFF. So we're going to have her on the show in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for that, as well as we're going to probably get some more coaches for on the Chris and Carlette live show. So you all stay tuned. And we will see you later. Go ahead, Carlette.
All right, listen, I tell you all every week, it's time to pray. There's an election tomorrow. If you didn't vote, go vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Vote. It is your civil duty. Go vote. And if you don't, and if it doesn't turn out how you want it, and you didn't vote, close your mouth. Don't say nothing. Don't say, we got it done early 2 weeks ago. Don't say nothing because you did not participate. But go vote. And I want you to be prayerful in this season for the climate that is going on in our world, in our communities. We speak peace, and we pray to God for peace. Lord, the Lord is the Prince of Peace. We call on the name of Jesus for this country, for this time, and this land. So listen, we love and appreciate you all. Seek the face of God while he may be found and while he is near. He wants to hear your call. When the righteous cry, the Lord hears, and he delivers us out of our fears. We love you. We appreciate you. Good night.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us this week on Chris and Carlette Live. Make sure to visit our website, chrisandcarlette.com. If you're on Facebook, share this broadcast. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our show. You may also find us on Apple Podcast, where you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Let us stay in contact with you by texting CNC Live to 474747. That's CNC Live to 474747.
CNC Live.